Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Angela, and we are married
And bored. Welcome, everybody, to episode 49
49
of the Married and Bored podcast.
Ooh, we should do something great for 50.
For 50?
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
I know.
We should have hit that a long time ago.
Well, wah, wah. Thanks for ruining that milestone.
No,
Christian.
it's a big deal. That means
It's super big.
we've played 50 games.
No,
No?
50 games total in our lives?
Yeah,
No, I think we played a little more than that.
probably. That's very true.
Is 50 the silver? Is that like, when it's like your 50th anniversary?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know. Somebody look that up.
Well, we're so happy that you decided to tune in and join us on our newest episode here. We're talking about Libertalia, the winds of Galecrest. Ooh, is that a wind?
Yeah, it was a wind noise.
Or a fart?
No, maybe my farts are the winds of Galecrest.
Okay. Anyways, I don't really know where to go from there, but hey, again, that's our show. So why don't we just start? I mean, there's a lot of news going on, but the biggest news for us probably is that Gen Con is happening in like 3 days.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, by the time we release this episode, you will be mere hours away from getting on a flight.
Mere hours.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's happening in this week. I don't really know what to expect.
Well, bring toilet paper.
Yes,
like
thank you.
our listener recommended.
Yep.
We appreciate that so much. You're signed up for a few things.
Yes.
Do you have off the top of your head, just like, can you rattle off a few of the things you signed up for?
Dice Throne.
Okay.
I signed up for Learn to Play Radlands.
Nice.
I did an Arc Nova thing.
A party.
It's like a release party or something. I don't know.
Did you bring something fancy to wear?
Yeah, I'm going to wear a tux.
Okay.
And then just have a backpack on.
Okay. That
And
will
probably,
look good.
Probably a baseball hat. Mm-hmm. Backwards. Yeah, and then I think we're doing a Root RPG sesh.
Oh.
Not shesh.
No, you want to try that again?
A Root RPG sesh.
There you go.
Yeah. So those are the things that I like signed up for that I have blocked out. But other than that, I'm just going to walk around and wait in line and play some games and we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. I am so jealous.
I know.
I don't get to go, guys.
I can see your dagger eyes.
Because, you know what? I made the sacrifice, both monetarily and something called children.
Something called?
Children. So it was like, should we pay for one of us to go? Or should we pay for all four of us to go and drag our kids around Gen Con all
That would
day?
be terrible.
So we did the only answer for us. We sent the head of Married and Bored,
No.
Christian Peterson.
No. But I am excited.
Are you the feet then?
Sure.
Okay.
We're like co-chairs.
Maybe you're the stomach.
We're like the two-headed animal monster from Sesame Street.
Got it. That's furry, right? It's
Yeah,
like-
I mean, it fits
yeah.
me.
Okay. So anything else about Gen Con?
I don't know. I feel like we've talked about it a lot.
What's your buy limit? Like, do you have a monetary limit?
Well,
or do you have like...
Well, I think I need to ask you that question. Because I don't know.
Is it for, I don't know. Is it more about the number of games for you, or is it like more about the price?
Probably the
spend?
price.
Okay.
But I am not opposed to, like, I can see myself buying a lot more smaller experiences
Yeah.
than, I don't know. I'm just looking at our room here, like 3 expansions for Ankh. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to come home with 7 big boxes.
No, that doesn't seem like you.
I mean, Never say never, like the song says, but that's just where I see it going.
Yeah, I mean, Arc Nova is a huge box. Not huge, but
Yeah, that's true. And
bigger.
That's like the one that you're most looking forward to me getting.
I just want you to get it.
Yeah. And then you're kind of interested in Wonderland's War.
Oh, yeah.
A little
Wonderland's
bit, right?
War, yep.
Yeah.
And Radlands, I'm interested in. You know what took me by surprise is when I saw it in our local game store. It's small.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
I know.
I just was not picturing that.
I thought it had a bigger presence.
Yeah.
But it's popular right now. And so I was like, I'll learn to play it. And it's a smaller experience. It's a 2-player game.
Yeah.
I think it could be fun for us.
Now, as our resident introvert,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you'll do some community building
Yeah.
at Gen Con. Mm-hmm. No, I'm serious.
Me too.
Because there's multiple people that we follow in our Instagram that are going to be there. So, how do you feel about that?
I mean...
Can you wear a sign that says, "Hi, I'm Christian from @MarriedAndBored"?
No. I cannot.
Well, if I were going, everyone, I would do it.
There's going to be so many people there. And the odds of seeing somebody, unless you plan to meet somewhere. But I'm going to try and look for all the celebs.
All the board game celebs.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Yeah. I would be scouting people out.
You would?
Yeah.
Well, maybe maybe I can go there and scout, pre-scout. Mm-hmm. So that when we go again in the future, we'll know exactly what to do.
Okay. So you're just basically getting out of it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Big crowds and me are perfectly aligned.
Yes, perfectly aligned. Well, I'm excited to hear. I'm sure that we will release a podcast episode right when you come back. We'll interview you, get your thoughts, feelings.
Yeah, you should just write some questions.
I will.
All right. I am kind of bummed, though. I saw on Twitter one of our... a game that we did an episode on about a year ago, The Initiative.
Yeah.
Unexpected Games. They're releasing a brand new game, not at Gen Con, but they'll have it available for demo. Yep. And I saw on Twitter that they said, the first 6 people to reply to this tweet can play it with the designer, Corey, at Gen Con at, Saturday at 4 p.m. I don't know what exactly it was, but...
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I should do that. But I knew that time and day sounded so familiar. I checked my schedule, and that's when I have one of my things prepaid and booked. And I was like, oh, man. And no one had replied.
I don't know. Every time, you told me it once when it happened, and now you're telling it again, and I just get this feeling you should have done it. What was it? What would it have been double booked with?
I think it was one of the more, the sessions aren't super expensive, but I think it was the Root one, the RPG. So I think I paid $10 for that.
Okay.
So and it was very limited space. So I don't know if me not going there would be a big deal, but I also want to learn how to play that game. So that's kind of I'm oh, I'll just wait in line and play the game the hard way. And rather than meet the designer,
yes,
who also did our last episode, Outer Rim. He was instrumental in bringing that to FFG.
I did not know that.
Right, yeah. So that would have been really cool. I'm looking forward. It's called 3,000 Scoundrels.
Okay, that's their new game.
Yeah, it's a cowboy game coming out. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm on... We love Marvel in this house. So, I'm on the hunt for anything Marvel that we can play with the kids. So I have my eyes on Marvel Dice Throne. I think we could have fun with that. And I know you and I tried it back in the day, and it just wasn't...
I could see it being more alluring for, first of all, to play with the kids, but also, to have a Marvel character.
Yeah, because it's just, I don't really care about random paladin guy. But if it was Thor, cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm looking for that. And there is a Marvel version of... It's not called Hero Quest. It's called... Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Whatever the game that Red Rising is based off of. Do you remember? Do you remember that one?
No. I mean, I know what you're talking about, that it's based off of...
This is great radio right now because I can't think of what it's called.
Can't think of it.
It's like Hero Realm or something like that. I don't know. Look it up. But there's a Marvel version of that. And so it plays a lot like Red Rising, where you try to get a handful of cards that combo off of each other.
Oh, okay.
But it's
That's
just
cool.
It's simpler and it's Marvel. So I
Neat.
figured we could try that with the children as well.
Yes.
And then beyond that, I'm going to go where the winds of
Galecrest take you.
That's right. Which is funny because I was gonna save purchasing the Libertalia for Gen Con.
Yes.
But then
I know.
our local game store had a sale and it was on sale. So I was like, I can't pass it up. I'll support the local guys.
Yeah.
I'm also looking for, I just remembered this, some cool dice. I figured there's going to be just buckets of dice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I figured I have my eye on just something cool for that.
Yeah.
And it's all, I don't know. There's some promos for Marvel United.
That would be cool.
Trying to get those.
There's that like kind of family push your luck game, the nacho game.
Nacho Pile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, you should look for that, see how much it is. I think it's officially releasing in September, but they're going to have copies at Gen Con. It's Pandasaurus.
Okay, I'll look for that, yeah. Oh, and the Parks expansion.
Yes.
That's on my list.
Yep.
Man, it's all just like flooding back, flooding in right now.
You need to make a list.
I do have a list.
Okay.
On my phone.
Because you know what happens when I send you with a list to Target?
Yeah, it takes me forever and I miss a couple things.
I don't understand how you miss stuff if you have a list.
Well, here's the deal. In my brain, if I go in order of the list, that just doesn't make sense because it might be apples, which are in the front, and then it might say milk, which then you have to go all the way to the back. And so you're doing this back and forth thing. Whoa, blesses.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, sure. And so I'm like, well, I'm just going to go in row order.
Yeah, but...
And then I just start missing things.
But can't you just cross it off of the list?
I mean, I could. And then, but sometimes I'll get
a
really big cart full. And I'll be like, oh, I don't even know if there's brown sugar in here because brown sugar was number 38 on the list.
Yeah, but is it
brown
crossed
sugar,
off?
I don't know. Because it's row 10, it's in aisle 10, and I'm already in aisle 18, which is down by the cleaning solutions and soda.
So you need to definitely perfect that.
Well, I haven't done it in a while, probably because I have forgotten things.
Yeah, and so I revoked your privileges. Your privileges to go on the errand called grocery shopping.
Hey, if the item list is 5 and under, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I can do that.
You can totally
Easy.
rock
And you know what?
5
You know what's
and
probably going to happen if it's 5 and under? I'll add some things.
Yeah.
Like
Oreos
or chips or Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Lucky
me. I got extra stuff. But if it's a big list, then I'm out.
Yep.
But I'm just going to check my pre-Gen Con list and just see if there's any more that we should mention.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe Ahoy would be out.
From
Leader,
Games.
but it's not. It'll be out this fall, which still, great. Love them. The Guild of Merchant Explorers.
I don't know what that is.
It's a map game. It looks boring.
Oh, great.
But I hear it's great.
Okay.
No, like it visually looks boring.
Yeah.
Like there's just cubes on a map and you try to connect them so your towns can get food, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's getting a lot of hype. So that's on my list. Twilight Inscription.
Oh, yeah, that's the roll and write.
Yeah, we mentioned that one. I did sign up for a learn to play of that. So I'm going to do that as well. I think the very first day, like in the evening.
Nice.
So I'm going to go and just kind of browse everything, learn how to play it, and then see if it's worth grabbing. Mm-hmm. Unless they're like, we only have 7 copies, and then I'll go get it.
Yeah.
But if they only have 7 copies. And then the other two that are on here are the Arnak expansion, like the little expansion for
yes.
that. And then
You should definitely get that.
a game called The Hunger.
Ooh, why don't I know about this one?
I think you might know about it. It's the guys who do Clank.
Okay.
Except it's another deck building game, but you're vampires and you try to get home before dawn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's all I really know.
Interesting.
So I actually saw it today at the bookstore. They had it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So those are the ones that I kind of have my eyes set on. If you guys have any suggestions, always hit us up.
Send them our way.
I mean, we started this segment saying, I'm not going to come home with a lot of stuff, but I just mentioned like 20 things.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Financially, you'll just have to reel it in.
Financially, we'll never recover from this.
This is our pre-bankruptcy episode.
Oh, and then I think the one thing that I have to do, back to Marvel, is try to play the Marvel Champions X-Men expansion.
Oh, yes.
If they have that available for demo.
Absolutely.
Part of me, so I'm like 50-50, I think. I want to do it, but I'm also not a big like spoilers guy. Like I don't want to play it and then come home and then we get it and it's just like I've already done this.
Do you think you'd feel like that though?
No, I don't know.
I don't think. I get that you're not in general a spoilers person. I'm not really either. But this is like a I think special case.
Yeah, once I get there and the vibes are vibing.
Wow.
Isn't
just
that
a free spirit.
Isn't that the words?
The vibes are vibing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be drinking water like crazy.
Stay hydrated.
Got my toilet paper in my backpack.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna I'll have a mask on so no one will know who I am.
That's right. That's how you're gonna be incognito, so people in the community don't know who you are.
Yep. Because my face is all over our Instagram.
Absolutely. You are the prettiest one.
What? That's not true. Well, do you have anything that you want to what's up with?
No, I think that was enough for both of us.
Yeah, I think Gen Con is just kind of like not all consuming, but it's what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's board games, and that's what we do here.
That is what we do, and we're excited about it.
So we actually played this game, Winds of Liberty.
Nope.
Correct me, please.
Try that again. Libertalia.
Yes.
Winds of Galecrest.
There it is. At a board game night a couple nights ago, and we had a really great time. We played it 2-player bunch.
Yep.
You and I. So let's take a quick break and we'll talk about it.
All right. We are back, ready to talk Libertalia.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Do you have a quick update for us?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I took some time and to reflect.
Oh, that's good.
About the Marvel card game I was talking about.
Yes.
That's kind of like Red Rising. It's called Marvel Remix. And the game that I could not think about, and you all were yelling at your TVs / radios / AirPods, was Fantasy Realms. So there you go.
There you go.
Let's clear the air. I knew it the whole time. But yeah, let's talk about Libertalia.
Let's do it. Okay. Libertalia Winds of Galecrest. This is a game for 1 to 6 players. Each player is going to take on the role of an admiral commanding a pirate crew. And you try to use your crew's abilities to secure loot and eventually amass the most gold. Because what else do pirates want?
Other than treasure.
This is a remake of Libertalia, which was originally released in 2012.
Correct.
It, updates the card art and the loot tokens. It adds a solo mode. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to say the card art.
The card art.
Yeah.
So, anything else about the description?
I think that's great. I like that right off the bat that it can go to 6 players. Mm-hmm. We tend to have 6 people at game nights at times.
Yeah.
So this is one that we can play with them. And it's quick.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, quick for us, for a game night.
Yeah, that's what we played this game in under an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that was to teach 2 people how to play it. So
And if we had 6, it might have taken an hour and 20 minutes to play, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about it as we go on. But I just like that it goes from 5 to 6 because so many modern games are just 5
or 4, sometimes just 3 and 4.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so let's just start at the beginning. You're opening up this game. Setup and teardown is the first thing. Well, setup is the first thing you're going to
set it up and put it away right away.
Let's hope not. Hopefully there's a nice gameplay in between there.
That's right. Well, we've done that before. We've set up games and then been like, oh, we got to go.
Yeah.
Or something came up.
Yeah, that has happened. It's very frustrating.
Yes.
Wouldn't recommend it.
No.
I think this one's pretty standard.
Yeah, there's nothing wild about this game. There is a ton of cards.
Yes.
Each player gets a 40-card deck.
Correct.
So 40 times 6 is a number, and that's how many cards there are.
Well, what's 4 times 6?
6 times 4 is 24.
And then put a 0 at the end.
240.
There you go.
Thank you.
This math interlude.
The more you know.
Okay. Yeah, there's lots of cards, but everyone has their own separate deck slot in the box. So
Yeah, and they're color-coded, so that helps.
yes.
Yeah.
There's, tokens. There's the loot tokens that we talked about. Then there's like money, chits.
The balloons.
There you go. And then there's a game board. I wouldn't say it's like the easiest game to set up. It's not one where you'd like play it, like bring it with camping or like play it on the beach because there's just too much stuff for that.
Yeah, cards.
Yeah.
I'm always nervous about playing games outside anyways. I see
Right.
people do it on Instagram all the time. Like, oh, we're at the cabin playing Scythe outside. I'm like, you guys are crazy.
That's bananas.
I don't know how you could do that.
You need to go indoors with that game right now.
Yeah, you need to be in an enclosed environment, sterile environment. Make sure that the O2 levels are good.
Okay, there you go. Acid free.
Yeah, I've been reading science fiction, so that's all about.
Yeah. We have a hand sanitizer pump right by our board game table.
After every time you touch the dice, take a squirt.
Yep. I think it's middle of the road for setting up, and even for like its board presence on the table. It's
Minimal.
It's minimal, but
Yeah.
it's not like so minimal that you can bring it places.
Yeah, sure. No, it's good. It doesn't take up a ton of space, even with 6 players. And yeah, I would say it's just right in the middle. Nothing too bad. Nothing too good.
Oh, not that good games are.
I realize that made 0 sense.
Yeah.
I would say this is not a pain in the butt to set up. If
There
you're
you
just
go.
like, I want to play a quick game, this is a good, bigger experience than just say a card game.
Yeah, and I like the teardown because the box is well suited to just hold everything in its proper place.
Yes.
It's got the nice like plastic topper insert.
Yeah.
So everything stays.
Yeah, Stonemaier did that with Red Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Although Red Rising's one is terrible because all the pieces still fall out of their little holes.
Yes, yes.
This one, not so much.
All right. How about learning to play? We did just teach 2 people.
Yeah. I thought it went well.
Yeah.
I think the most confusing thing to learn how to play this game is that everybody gets gets the exact same cards.
Yes.
It sounds easy, but it's just like it's like, okay, everyone, I'll shuffle my deck, but you guys don't.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what cards to get. You mean we get to look at our cards? All of these? It's like, well, yes, but you're not going to have to worry about all of them at once. You just only have to worry about 6
6 of them.
at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be really accessible for someone who's, a non to light board gamer.
Yeah, all you really need to know is numbers.
Yeah. The mechanics are simple.
They are.
The confusing part becomes like, besides what you said, is like the text.
The triggers.
Like to know, because every card does something.
Yes.
Every card represents a pirate crew member, and they all do something. And they can do them at different times of the quote, day. So they could have like a daytime power or a dusk power or a nighttime power or even just the end of the voyage power, which is an anchor power.
Yep.
So to kind of figure out the strategy, I guess, of when to play what, and knowing that the other people around the table have the exact same cards as you.
Yes.
That's the tricky part.
That kind of trips me out a little bit because I'm like, oh, I wonder what they have, what they're going to play. I'm like, oh, wait, I know what they have.
Yeah.
At least the first couple turns. And like, well, we're all just going to play the same card because to me, obviously, this card, 34, is the best.
Right.
But someone else might not think that, which is interesting. That's where it gets interesting. So the goal in the game, not the overall goal, but each turn, simultaneously people reveal a card. And then you put them in numerical order on the game board, which is called the island. And then you trigger the actions in numerical order. You go lowest to highest, and then you go highest to lowest. And then, so it could be good to go first if you have a really good power on a low card, or you might want to wait till the end and do a higher card and be higher, and then thusly choose your loot token first.
Yes, the highest card always gets to choose their loot token first, with the exception of like one card power that says you can take a loot token before. Yeah,
and then again, where it gets tricky to learn how to play is that each loot has different values and different actions. And so just trying to remember what everything does, there's a lot right away.
It's nice that it's on the bottom of the board, though.
That's very true.
So I like that. It just shows you...
Oh, what is this treasure chest worth?
What does this do? Yeah. And when does it happen? Like, does it happen at the end of this voyage or the round, I guess? Or does it happen just during daytime and that's it? Or dusk, I mean? And then does it happen at the... Oh, no, that would be the only thing, right?
Yeah, I would say that, the hardest part is the phases.
The phases.
Daytime, dusk, night, end of voyage.
Right.
Those, did I say 4 things?
Yeah, just making sure that flows well. But once you learn that, and especially if you're learning at a table with someone that knows how to play, it's going to flow smoothly. It's a nice game to introduce to people who are maybe not always into board games or would be intimidated by
or like a next step too.
Yeah.
Like, all I've ever played is Catan. It's like, let's try this one. This was good.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. The experience, is it immersive?
The experience. Yo ho.
A pirate's life for me.
I think it's lightly immersive. I think where you get the most flavor text, you get the most flavor of being a pirate in what the cards are called, like who the cards are, and then what they do.
Yeah.
So that's where you get it, and also like the loot. Right. Like all the loot does something very different. One of the loot you can get, it's not really loot, it's a sword. And so basically you get to stab another pirate in that island numerical line, and then it takes them out of the line.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, I don't want this guy to get loot. Stab. And then they don't get to have loot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like very piratey things you can do to other people.
That's what I was going to say. That is piratey a word? Because I feel like the powers on these cards are very piratey.
Yeah.
The
I think
abilities.
So. Yeah. One that comes to mind too that we played to great effect the other night at game night was the rifleer. I called him the rifleer.
No, he's the gunner.
It's like a gunner or a rifleman.
Yeah.
And like all of us, because we all have the same cards, had the rifleer. Oh my gosh, rifleman. And at one point in the game, we all shot like each other's pirate crew and like messed them up. And so I was like, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what pirates would do.
And we all knew it was coming too, because like you did it first to like John, and then he was like, you just killed my guy.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, you have the same card, so you can do it too. And he was like, you could see that he was like, oh yeah, I could do that back. So that was neat.
Yeah, it's definitely got some elements of Take That, which is what pirates would do and be like. I think it does a good job of building out that world, like the pirate world. I love the tokens. I think they're so fun. If you know Azul, it's kind of reminds me of that, like
Oh yeah,
like the starbursty tokens.
Yeah, they're basically plastic starbursts.
Yeah. So I love, like, I don't know, this sounds weird, like the weight of them, or like the tactile feel
They're
of
just
them.
chunky.
Yeah.
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 I think one thing that would make this even more immersive, and I actually looked it up before we started recording, is metal coins. Because right now we just use the cardboard coins, which are great. They still have numbers on them and they work. But I did find out that Stonemaier does have metal coins.
Oh.
So you can get a set of metal coins for only $20.
Look at that.
Well, this is on the Gen Con list now.
Okay. Add it to the list.
Maybe they'll have it there. That would be cool. So anyway, I think that would just add to, like, there's something so great about metal coins. I think of like Oath, when we've played that has metal coins. Pax Pamir has metal coins.
Yes.
And so does the new one from Parks. I can't think of it. The Caper.
Oh, yeah.
And just hearing them clink together, and
It does. It's the weight of it.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. Okay, I will say, and this is being really picky, and it's a personal preference, that I think it could have been more immersive for me if it was more like the original artwork. Like everything in this artwork, the artwork's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's like animals.
Yep.
Your pirate crew are all animals.
Yes.
I don't know. I think for me, personal preference, I would have liked to see like more realistic human art.
Yeah, so one of the things that they did change from going to the original to this one is the art style. It's very stylized.
Yeah.
It's like a Disney, I don't want to say Disney.
No.
But everybody is like an animal.
Yeah.
So like the rifle guy is a chicken, and like the brute is a big walrus, and so like there's cool things like that, and then they have some mystical creatures too, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the theme is they went from like realistic pirates
right
to these are actually airships, and so like you're not even like sailing, you're kind of flying from island to island on the winds of Galecrest.
There you go.
Trying to get these tokens. And the tokens are something that is new to this version. The upgraded ones, like the plastic chunky ones. So that wasn't in the original. We never played the original.
No. We've looked at it, though. I think the art looks very, like, Robinson Crusoe-esque.
Yeah, yeah. And it's got a more serious looking vibe.
Yes.
But I'm don't let the cartoonish, but like just the art style sway you. The game is great.
Game is great.
You're going to have a good piratey time.
Yes.
For sure.
I think maybe this art style just seems more fun.
Yeah, and pirates get a bad rap.
Oh, yeah. Let's shout out to the pirates out there.
No, but it's just easier to be like, you want to be a pirate, and you're going to do piratey things, but not like the most terrible piratey things.
Right, it kind of...
This is not Black Sails, the board game. This is more like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, it removes it from real life a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I agree. What about is it fun? Do you have fun playing it?
I do have fun playing it, but I also get very frustrated playing this game.
That's news to me.
Yeah.
Okay, explain.
I think I get frustrated because we have the same cards. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I may not realize what cards do in my first pass.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, yeah, this like the example that I mentioned earlier is like, obviously everyone's playing 34. There's no other reason to play 34.
Yeah.
And then I play 34. And no one plays 34. And then I realize it's like, oh, if I would have played 17, I could have got twice, because you did a different card and you got twice as much gold than I'm just like, how could I have not seen that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just get frustrated in that.
I don't feel like... So it's very dependent on, like, what 6 cards you draw.
That's very true.
So maybe, depending on what combination of 6 cards you have, there's like a clear winner of which one to play first. But just in general, I think it's very subjective. Like, I want to play this one first because it goes along with my plan or what I want to do. But maybe that's not the best play for you. Mm-hmm. And also, like, you have to determine, like, at least for me, like, is the card's power what I'm playing for? Or am I more concerned about the numerical value in getting loot?
Yeah, that's true. I think I played more that way the other night when we played in the group.
Yeah.
I got second place, and I lost by like 2, which was pretty good.
Were we all really close?
Yeah, it was like 86, 84, 81, and then 72 or 79 or something like that.
Yeah. So, I didn't realize you were frustrated at all.
No, I mean, it's not, I think I'm frustrated. I was trying to save that sentence, but yeah, no, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
It's frustrating when I realize something that I didn't see. And then I feel like I should have seen.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it happens more, and I think we should talk about it here, as the 2-player game. Because we haven't mentioned that it does change quite a bit when we play just 2 players. You have to add something to the island, which is called the midshipman.
Yes.
And that changes the flow of the game quite a bit.
It disrupts the numerical order.
Yeah, so there's the value of the midshipman is 20.5.
Right. He's the mid.
Yep. And I just realized that. Mm-hmm. There's 40 cards, so he would be the guy right in the middle. That's funny. That makes perfect sense. Good job, Stonemaier. And also math, again. The more you...
You should just have a little interlude where we give math tidbits.
Yep. And so what happens is, if you play higher, you go to the right of it. If you play lower, you go to the left. And then what he does is he allows your opponent, depending on where you place in the number line, to remove one of the loot tokens from the island before you even get a chance to pick.
Right.
I hate it.
Yeah. But then you could both be under him.
True.
You know, like he could be the highest numerical value.
And then he doesn't trigger.
And then it doesn't trigger.
No, but it only triggers if he's in the middle.
Yeah.
If someone is below and someone is above.
Yes.
And I forget that constantly when we play the 2-player game. And I feel like the 2-player game is way more got ya than...
So I think the first time we played it, we might have played it wrong.
Oh, really?
Like, just with the loot tokens, because I think we weren't, like, one of us wasn't getting a loot token. So the midshipman removing one should leave one loot token on the island. You just don't get to choose.
There's just one remaining.
Yes.
Yeah, and so you get what you get.
And you don't throw a fit.
You don't get upset.
Yeah. So I feel like a couple times we did that wrong, or I don't know if I'm remembering.
That's possible.
Yeah, I feel like we made it real cutthroat.
It was. It was much more cutthroat, but it also could have depended on, again, the cards we drew.
Yes.
It could have been so the loot tokens are randomized. So we could have just had a lot.
Oh, we had a lot of sabers.
Had a lot of sabers and a lot of, I want to say, hooks.
Yeah.
Like, we had nothing fun in terms of, like, money. Right. And so, like, it was just you and I just stabbing each other over and over again.
Well, that's how marriage is,
Thursday
folks.
night.
Yeah, it's just another Thursday night. I love it. I think it's fun. I think it's just it's a sweet spot for us in the 30 to 60 minute range for a game. And I really enjoy it. I feel like it's light enough to kind of have like table talk and not be like silence, I'm thinking. But then it's also has enough to it where you can have strategy and Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good too. I enjoyed it a lot more at 4, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be just as good with 5 or 6.
Right.
2, after playing it with 4, is not my favorite experience. I'll still play it every once in a while, and we should mention too that there's another side to the board that makes the loot do different things. It's a much more difficult and cutthroaty version, right?
Yeah, it's the calm side of the board versus the stormy side of the board.
Yeah, and so a lot of lose doubloons, lose crew members, remove a crew member from a rival ship, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That pops up in the other side of the board, which we haven't tried yet.
That's true.
Admittedly, I'm not up for a stormy.
Christian's not up for a stormy. He's like, I want a calm day at sea.
I need the calm seas.
Yeah, well, we're not even on the sea. We're in the air.
I want to be above calm seas.
Yeah, above calm seas.
Yes. Yeah, so that's great. Angela, you did play the Automa, the solo version. I think we're gonna talk about that after this little segment.
Yeah.
And just talk about how that went, how that fits into Stonemeier's Automa world. They are very good at it, and we'll touch on that. Is there anything else that you think we should say about Libertalia Winds of Galecrest?
Yeah, I would just say I think it's got, because of the solo mode and because of the sweet spot of the playing time it takes, it's definitely... Oh, and the calm versus stormy side, it's got a lot of replayability for us. The 40 cards, yes, they're the same every game, but they're not in the same order. You're drawing 6 new, a combination hand of 6 new cards every time.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's definitely got a place on our shelf. It was worth the money, and we'll play it a lot.
Here's another math question to end the segment. How many different combinations of cards could you have?
I will need to do a combination.
It's not it's not like 40 factorial or whatever. No, I think it's great. Looking forward to playing it some more. But stick around and we'll talk about solo mode.
This episode is sponsored by Showit. Are you stuck in a boring website template? Maybe you don't even know where to start. Experience the true creative freedom with the drag and drop simplicity of a Showit website. Our website, marriedandbored.com, is a Showit website, and we love how simple it is to create. Get started for free at showit.co. You won't be disappointed.
All right, Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest. I would say that this is probably one of the best games that we have played in 2022.
Ooh, interesting.
Would you say that?
I'm trying to think.
I think I was just surprised by it.
Yeah, I was surprised as well. I'm not usually seeking out the pirate theme in games. So that was surprising that I liked it that much.
Yes.
I don't know. We've had a few runners and games in the running for that for me.
What other ones come to mind?
Like Veiled Fate.
Okay, yeah, that was good.
And Gollum for me.
Oh, yeah? You like that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Glow.
Oh, all right. Yeah. It's been a long year already. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Halfway through.
Yeah, for me this is one of my favorites. But we want to talk about the solo mode because this is something that not every game does. But I would say more and more new releases in the modern board game world are having a solo or Automa, as Stonemaier calls it, mode.
Yeah.
I don't do this very well. I don't think I've ever played a solo mode.
Yeah, you did. You tried with Arkham Horror one time.
Did I?
Yeah, you told me about it after the fact.
Oh, the card game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And I was like, this is not fun.
Because you just... usually I run the game.
Yes.
When we play, which is not a term for me beating him really bad, I'm running the board.
But if it's just at the end of each round, please reset all the cards and add 5 to this, you do all that stuff.
I'm the app. If there was an app with every game, I'm the one that's okay, now we
swipe right to continue.
Yeah. now we do this, now we do this. And so I liken it to kind of like if you're driving the car, and we're going somewhere new, I don't really pay attention to where we are.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I were going to drive there, I'd be like, what am I doing? So I feel like that's kind of like you with a solo mode of a game. It's like, oh crap, I haven't been driving the car.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and also for like, if I want a solo experience, I'm going to play a video game.
Yeah.
Board games for me are social.
Community.
Yeah, whether it's just you and me or like the game nights.
Yeah.
I enjoy that so much more than just sitting down. Like, deep down, I want to play solo mode in Outer Rim.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to do Oath because I don't feel like anyone's going to play that again with me. So I want to just try it. But then the other part of me is like, I don't want to set all this up. I don't want to play by myself. Like, I'll just flip on the PlayStation and I'll be in a world immediately. Like,
yes.
Chilling out. So that's my view on solo modes.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about Libertalia?
Well, I think back to our other segment where you said like playing 2-player is not as, I don't know how you said it, not as fun for you as 4-player.
Yeah.
I actually think that I would rather play this game solo than 2-player.
What? You're kicking me out?
No, I'm not kicking you out. You are welcome to join 3, 4, 5, and 6-player games.
You are such a pirate.
I just think the solo mode is better than the 2-player mode.
Really? Can you give us a rundown of like what the solo mode, like how a turn would go? Just briefly.
So you're playing against an automa,
Okay.
which Stonemaier, I don't know, christened that name with viticulture because that's the Italian word for
Robot? Automatic?
Well, yeah. So in viticulture was set in Italy. So anyway, that's what they call their solo modes in every game. So like Wingspan has an automa and Red Rising has an automa. Scythe has an automa. So this game, Libertalia, has an automa. So you're playing against the automa who gets a hand of 6, gets doubloons, gets a ship crew.
Do they still have the same 6 cards?
As me, yes.
Okay.
Yep. And they get tokens. And then also, just to add this is not optional, but just to add in one more thing, there's like a pilferer who is not someone you're playing against. He doesn't do anything except go to the island and potentially take loot from people.
Oh.
So that makes it sound like really confusing maybe, but
No, it's just, I think that's
not.
good. We just wanted to know the differences. Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously you can see the automa's hand of 6, but that doesn't really matter because you have the same hand of 6.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter that you're seeing their hand. The card will tell you which of the backs of the cards have like kind of a priority ranking based on what loot is available on the island that day.
Okay.
Of what card the automa will play from their hand. So that's how the card selection goes for the automa. The pilferer is just a random draw from the deck. And then you put them in numerical order still when you go on the island. And you still activate, all abilities. A couple of them change, like you just put a tile over the existing board.
The loot tokens.
Yeah, because like the saber, it changes because it wouldn't make sense in an automa game. So, yeah, I thought it was really smooth. I played like 2, not quite back to back, but just today. I played 2 and it was really fun.
That's cool. Is it pretty smooth? Like sometimes I feel like some solo modes, maybe some that are added after the fact, like maybe Abomination, is a little clunky. Yeah,
I felt like, just another Stonemaier game. maybe it was because it was the first automa I ever tried to learn, but I had a lot of trouble with the scythe automa, just understanding where the automa would move.
Okay.
There was a priority thing where I just didn't quite understand.
There's a lot more going on in Scythe as well.
Yeah.
And it was a while, like it was early on in our board gaming career, right?
Yes,
so
yeah.
I could see where that would be very confusing.
And then
Scythe's a big game.
I haven't tried it recently, but like 2 years ago when there was the first bots for Root.
Yes.
That was really clunky, I felt like.
Yes, I agree.
No, this one's smooth.
Okay.
It's a smooth sailing.
Ooh. Nice.
Yes.
Anything else you want to say about it?
I don't know, just talking about Stonemaier Games and automas in general. I think that like the solo modes are so important. And I think maybe the community just got like a big wake-up call with COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And just realizing, if they didn't already, when a game night's not possible because there's a pandemic, and you live alone,
What are you going to do?
Yeah. You play. You can do like TTS, right? Like Tabletop Simulator, and but you also have a lot of games now have solo modes that are really robust. Like
Have you done Wingspan Automa?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Okay. It's been a couple years. I did a solo show.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So
but I didn't remember what was included in that.
So I think I played that.
Okay.
During that time period 2 years ago.
But you would sit down and do this one, no problem. Like does it make the game longer or shorter, or is it about the same, like 30 to 60 minutes?
Well, I feel like it just depends on. I'm kind of someone that I probably run my automa fast. Like the pace of my game is pretty fast.
Okay, once you know what you're doing.
Yeah, so you don't have to. Like, I don't feel like rushed. I just, it's like your problem with Chick-fil-A when we eat it.
Okay.
You don't feel like this rush to eat fast. You just do.
I just eat all my food in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm not like panicking trying to finish the game. I just realize like, oh, I'm going fast.
Yeah, okay.
So I feel like you wouldn't have to, but I probably finish a game in 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Especially you could do multiples in a row, or if you get. So how did you fare against the bot? Did you win? Did you lose? You said you played 2 today.
Yeah, I won the first one, and then I lost the second one by 1.
Oh. Scallywag.
I know. And you can change the difficulty of the bot. I just did regular.
Okay.
All you do is you start with, if you want to make the bot easier, you start with more doubloons.
Okay.
If you want to make the bot harder, you start it with more doubloons.
Because the goal is to just get the most doubloons.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So that's really cool. And you don't play with the midshipman, which is maybe why I like the solo better than the 2-player.
Okay.
And the pilferer is kind of what makes it like a 3-player game on the island, at least. Not that you're keeping track of things for 3 different people, but it's just a way to like make the 3 loot tokens more. It's more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're going to get.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's great. Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest, solo mode. It's awesome. If you're new to solo mode, I would say this one seems like a really good one to jump in on. Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound like it changes too much of the game. No. It's not too new. Like maybe Root was learning a whole new faction.
Yeah, it was just that was a lot for me at the time.
That was a lot. I agree. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed our conversation on Libertalia. Let's transition into wrapping up the show here, Angela. I can think of the words.
Think of that word.
Yeah, so we like to end the show like we do every time and just talk about a few things that are going on outside of board games. So Angela, outside of board games, what's bringing you joy?
Well, I'm going to do a simple one this time. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's not really profound,
Well,
but I'm enjoying this cold brew.
cold brew.
So when I say this cold brew,
Yeah, just this one right here.
Here's the story. I had a birthday. Thank you. And it was wonderful. And my wonderful husband got me.
That guy.
He did not get me Brass Birmingham, which is a game that I want to play a lot, but he refuses to get me because he knows he won't like it.
Well, and I also can't find it in stock, so there you go.
Oh, there you go. So I got, among other things, what would you call it? Like a cold brew, I don't know, like a mason jar.
Yeah.
With like a
metal filter.
Yeah, with a metal filter.
Like
it's like specifically made to make cold brew.
Yeah, it's like a tea strainer, but it's like metal and super fine.
Yes, and it's single serving.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really awesome. I just like the way it tastes. I've done different cold brews in the past, both like ordering them and also in like the can, and they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is just like it's so smooth,
Like liquid chocolate.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So, you said you found it on like an Instagram ad.
Yeah, so I was gonna say like I don't have a problem, but I'm suckered into like those Instagram ads of like the crazy items.
Totally.
Where it's just like, oh, these headphones that you put behind your ear with sticky tape and they sound better than AirPods. I'm like, yeah, I'll do them. Or what's the stupid one I just bought? Elastic shoelaces so I don't have to tie my shoes.
Yes. How's that
going?
going?
I'm like 65 years old.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I just slide my shoes on and I'm good to go.
It's amazing.
So another birthday present that I got you, it's not here yet, was also one of those things.
Oh.
So this is kind of
don't ruin it.
Yeah. It's just kind of funny that ended up being one.
That's funny.
The charger. Like I was looking for that phone charger and I found this awesome charger. It's just like an Instagram ad. I was like,
Wow.
oh, all right, well, thanks Instagram.
I gotta buy it.
You win.
This is why he needs a list and a budget for Gen Con, everybody.
But the cold brew one was a wild card birthday present. Like I was just like, I don't know. I was having this conversation with someone at work the other day. Like even though in Arizona it's 107 degrees outside, probably right now at 9:30 p.m.
Yeah.
I would get a hot coffee
In the morning.
Yeah.
Well, for me.
or in
night.
the afternoon.
Oh, I don't know if I would do it in the afternoon.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I just like the feel and the taste. Like dirty chai tea latte. Boom, let's do it. Or vanilla cheesecake espresso.
Vanilla cheesecake.
I couldn't think of the word latte. There you go.
There.
I would get that hot.
I guess it depends on what, like, in the afternoon, I usually think of, like, being outside.
Yeah,
Or, like,
that's true.
if I'm going to, like, sit on a soccer field.
Well, that's different. But if
Or-
I'm just like hanging out inside or even driving around doing errands or at work, I'll take hot coffee.
Yeah, totally.
And people are like, I know that when I order, they're like, you want that hot or ice? I'm like, hot. And they're just like, this guy.
Who cares?
This guy's an idiot.
No. Hot coffee. I knew someone that would only order ice drinks no matter what the weather was.
I think that's why the conversation came up is because there's two guys at work that I had lunch with the other day. They only drink cold coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. No, I think it's psychological for me. Like I need something like warm
It's cozy.
and cozy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and same with tea. Like I do drink iced tea, but I like just warm tea.
I prefer iced tea, but I have gotten more into hot tea.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what about you? What's bringing you joy, Christian?
I would say I'm on a audiobook kick right now. I go in streaks. I'm very streaky with reading. I enjoy it every time I do it.
Yes.
But in the last month and a half, I think I've done like 4 books.
That's awesome.
Which is huge for me.
great.
So I'm going to tell you 2 of the books that I've read and recommend them.
Okay.
So I'm not done with this one yet, but I'll probably finish it tomorrow because I have like 2 chapters left. Hail Mary Project.
Project Hail Mary?
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm obviously paying attention. By Andy Weir. It's the same guy who did The Martian.
Yep.
I would recommend the audiobook because there is a lot of cool sounds that happen in this book, and it's integral to the plot.
Yes.
And I just can't imagine reading the sounds that he experiences.
Right. Once you've listened, you feel like you're missing something.
Yeah, and that's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything from the book because it's really cool.
Yeah.
And being like a music guy and it's like tones and sounds and from different locations, it's like, oh, that's really cool to actually hear it rather than, I don't even know how you'd print it.
Yeah.
And so I'm listening to that, and then I really like the series, the Lightbringer series. My friend Nick recommended it. The first one is called The Black Prism, and it's like a fantasy. I don't want to say Lord of the Rings because there's not other species. It's more like Game of Thronesy, but more magical.
Okay.
And less people being terrible to each other.
Okay.
You still have a little bit of like, you have like political intrigue.
But no Lord Ramses.
Yeah, no torture, no like, there's,
Theon.
None of that stuff.
Yeah.
So the magic in that book is really cool. And then in the second book, one of the characters goes to school. And for some reason, I have a thing for like when stories are about people in school.
Yeah, you do like Harry Potter.
I love Harry Potter. I love what's that book? Name of the Wind is all about that guy going to school.
Yep.
And then A Deadly Education. That one's in school. So like whatever it is, I just enjoy reading people going to school. Maybe because I did and I failed at it. That's probably why.
I was going to say you didn't like school. So
I'm just looking for people that have succeeded in magic school, killing school, assassin school, whatever it is.
There we go.
I obviously like sci-fi and fantasy books, and so that's where I gravitate towards when I'm listening to them. So I'm having a really good time. Looking for recommendations there too. Why not? Hit me up with some books.
Yes.
Especially over this Gen Con week, I'll probably have some time in the plane to listen because I'm not playing solo games, that's for sure.
Oh, wow. Can I add one more thing that's bringing us joy outside of board games?
Oh, yeah.
We got a cat.
Oh, my goodness. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is...
Not only, we didn't get a cat, we got a kitten.
We got a kitten.
Yeah. How old is he?
He is... we have had him like a little over a week, and he's 11 weeks now. Mm-hmm. And the kids... we were floating around some ideas, and the kids liked Rocket after Rocket Raccoon.
Yep. He does kind of have black eyeshadow around his eyes, so that helps.
Yep. So he is Rocket, and Christian, you call him Rocky sometimes.
I do. I call him Rocky.
But yeah, so that's been bringing joy to our lives, and it's fun.
Yeah. I've never had a cat before,
That's true.
so this is a new experience for me. It's been fun.
Cats with board games is interesting as well.
The other night at board game night, he did come up on the table, but then he just laid down just kind of next to us.
But not even laying, like the loaf.
Yeah.
Like how cats like tuck in all their paws and their tail.
He just needed to be close to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of fun. I'm having more fun than I thought I would with the cat.
Yeah.
So that's good.
He's,
He's chill.
kitten, but he's chill, but then he's also like has moments of play.
He's also very vocal.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, or I wasn't ready for that.
Right.
He's just meowing a lot.
Yeah, not like keeping us up at night.
No, but it's just like, where are you guys? Meow. Where are you guys? Meow. Like, I'm over here. Meow.
What's he saying?
I mean, it's way higher than that, but you get the gist.
You get the gist. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, Rocket is in our family now, and he'll probably show up on our feed eventually, right?
Eventually, he'll destroy some dice roll that I'm...
Yeah, the
rolling.
winning dice roll.
Yeah.
Well, cool, Ange. How can the people get a hold of us if they want to send us some book recs or talk to us about Gen Con and what we should be on the lookout for?
Yes. We love interacting with you guys, so it is at Married and Bored on Instagram. You can comment or direct message us. We are on Twitter at Married Bored.
That's right.
You can email us, hello@marriedandbored.com. Also, we have a website, marriedandbored.com. You can fill out the form there.
Yeah, there's a contact form.
And that comes to us as well. So we love hearing from you. And if you love this podcast, give it a 5-star review.
Yeah, we'd love that. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to Gen Con, no offense.
Yeah, FOMO over here.
I'll be in Gen Con, and hopefully we can... I haven't decided if I'm going to try to record stuff while I'm there or just do it all when we get back. And we'll talk to everybody after the show.
All right. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Married and Bored podcast. And guess what? We have a website where you can listen to podcast episodes and so much more. Find us at marriedandbored.com, or you can email us at hello@marriedandbored.com, or follow us on Instagram at marriedandbored. Music in this episode is by Joseph McDade. See you next time.